Welcome to a special Jace Media Music video interview. I am your host, Justin Smullison, Jace Media contributor from across the pond, and I am so excited to discuss what's going on with my man, Herman Frank of Victory. Victory's new album is Circle of Life, and it is available worldwide from our friends at AFM Records. It is a worthy successor to this album right here, Gods of Tomorrow, which is absolutely fantastic. It's an album I still come back to years later. Herman and I are going to talk about what's going on with Victory and what it's like to write for such a talented vocalist like Gianni Pontillo. And we're also going to talk about some of his other projects, such as Iron Allies, Herman Frank, solo artist, and a little bit of his time with Accept, especially toward the end there. We've got some nice memories to share. And you are in luck. If you're a Victory fan and you will be in Germany in January and February, there are tour dates for Victory alongside Gravedigger. So those shows are going to be wild. All the dates are on this interview show notes. There's so much to discuss. Herman's got a great vibe. He's so much fun. So it's such a delight to speak with him again. Let's get to it. Jace Media Music audiences worldwide, please welcome the incomparable Herman Frank. You can see behind me, we've got the Circle of Life. It is not a tribute to the Lion King. It is Victory's newest album. And one of the things that, I mean, I love it. It picks up really nicely from Gods of Tomorrow. And one of the things I noticed is I think this is the first time in a long time that the same Victory lineup has done two albums in a row. Is that right?
Yeah, in the past times. I mean, in the beginning of Victory, there had been lineups for a couple of years, but in between, there was troubled times, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like a marriage. People meet, people leave, people get divorced, whatever, you know. But this time, I'm quite sure that I found some really excited guys.
Yeah.
And a very, very good singer, Gianni Pontillo.
Yeah.
And all the team, all the band is very proud to be a part of Victory. And I guess this time it's going to happen. Yeah. They're young and fresh. They're ready and willing.
They are. And some of them work with you in your solo project, Herman Frank. And
for sure, Mike, the guitar player. I
Mike,
found this guitar player 10 years ago.
He's your man, right?
I lended him out to a friend. He got a band. He asked me, hey, because I guess 10 or 12 years ago, I produced an album of his own band, Magistarium. So I saw this kid, not kid, but this younger guy, and he played very well. And so I kept keeping an eye on him. And a couple of years ago, I said, hey, you have to join my band.
Right.
Practice, try to cover my guitar. And he did. So I really love to work with this guy. He copies my guitar exactly, you know. So it's very easy to play with this guy along.
Yeah, he's fun. Great. He's been on a lot of your recent output, Victory, Herman Frank, and Iron Allies. We'll talk about that in a little bit. One thing I noticed about Victory with Gianni at the vocals, it's a little bit more of the a slightly more tender side of Herman Frank, right? It's not like
if you say so.
Well, he's got some lyrics about love and relationships. So those are not what we're going to hear when you did Panzer, for example. That wasn't.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, dance is a different thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's not easy to find always the right lyrics for the right band.
Right.
Victor is more. It's a rock and roll band.
Yeah.
It's not a heavy metal band. So what you're gonna talk about? What you're gonna sing about? People, they still fall in love since hundreds of years, and hopefully they will do. So I guess maybe that's stuff kids want to hear. Hope so. I don't want to go into politics or something, or environment or whatever. I'm getting tired of all the news. We have a lot in Germany. I mean, around the clock. And somebody, or mostly everybody's getting tired always hearing the same stuff.
You live in Germany, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you get tired of hearing about U.S. politics every single day?
Oh, they reported more than about your voting about the president
Yep,
than they did for the German president or
exactly.
government.
Yeah,
It was wow. And nobody knows the situation about in America anyway. Nobody lives over there, but they're talking about, and nobody knows exactly the situation. So I rather would leave it up to the U.S. citizens.
right. Um, let's talk a little bit about Circle of Life. Um, do you feel that this is the appropriate successor to Gods of Tomorrow? Did you wanted to pick up and do something a little, continue in the same vein without doing the same exact thing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, or you always gonna try. You always try this. Um, Circle of Life was the first album I've did with this band in this with this members. And we had to do it in the times of Corona, so it was a little bit difficult to write. Not that difficult, but yeah, it was a totally different situation to come up with some songs. And this time, I mean, we played a lot of shows in between, so the band melted more together, kind of like. Um, Everybody knew exactly, and on the second album, what I do expect, so it was much easier. I could meet with Johnny in my little studio before we went to the Horror Sound studio to record the real thing. So that helped a lot in preparing all the stuff and creating all the songs. And as I said, as everybody knows each other more than for the first album, we just had fun more or less. After all these live shows,
Yeah.
it was easy to record in the way I want to record, the fresh thing, the live thing. We played in the studio like with the same excitement we do live, and I guess you can hear this. It's a raw, it's kind of like raw but fresh, and wild guitars and pumping, and wow, I'm really proud of this thing. That's pretty close to the thing I've wanted to do.
Virtual Sin is the last track on the album.
Yeah,
It's also one of the singles. It's got it's got the power chorus with the watch out tonight. Yeah, it's got that on there. And was that an easy song for you to get behind? Like you said, oh, this is definitely going to make the cut.
actually, I stole this song from my wife. I recorded this song already with her band, Poison Sun. And I said to my wife, "Hey, I do need this. Give me the song back. I want to do this with Victory. It's just a great tune also for Victory." And she said, "Hey, if you want to do it, I'm proud of it. Go for it." And so it turned out really well. I do like sometimes in a way, I do like this pure rock and roll thing, easy going, easy shouting out.
Yeah.
And we played the song live in the shows, and people love it.
Yeah. And Count on Me in similar veins. Got the 3-word chorus that everybody can get behind. Raise your fist in the air. Count on me. Yeah, it's another hard rocker. Yeah.
The best thing is that the band is able to sing this.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Sometimes on a couple of songs you record in the studio some nice backing vocals and stuff like that. And live, it's not that easy to perform playing guitar or jumping around and do all this backing vocal. So everybody has to practice a lot.
That's excellent. And so what's the Victory has a tour coming up, don't they?
We toured already in September for 11 days just to warm up. Did about 10 to running out of power. No, it will be enough power on the iPhone. We did a couple of festivals. So this was a kind of like warm-up show. And the next tour is coming up, I guess on 16th or 17th of January.
Yeah.
Europe. And we do have a double package with Gravedigger.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
You friends with those guys? You know them a long time?
Oh, yeah. I met these guys for a couple of times, in between the decades.
Okay.
See them on this festival, see them on this tour, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So that's going to be
looking forward to this package.
That's going to be a great run of shows. That's going to be in the EU and the UK?
No UK.
No
Nobody
UK.
plays in UK except. or or Saxon, you know. But
Right, right, right.
nah, the situation is not that well in UK, so you can't afford to go over there.
So let me ask you, on a selfish note, then, will a Herman Reese project, whether it's yourself, Victory, or Iron Allies, you think you might come to the US one day?
There's an ocean in between.
I know.
In between. It's not that easy these days. You have to have a working visa, and cost for every musician is about 3,000 euros. It's about
Right.
the same in dollars. Well, therefore, you have to be a real AAA band.
Okay. All right. Well,
I would love to. I would love to. So many people ask, "Oh, come to US." Yes,
yeah.
I would love. I would like to.
You
You
had
know,
yeah,
sometimes you have to think about filling the fridge.
yeah, yeah, the fridge.
Yeah, the way you put food in.
Oh, okay.
How is it called? This little box.
Oh, that's how you're gonna travel? There's jump in the fridge and then have them take you.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, the costs are right now. The costs are too much. You
too
know, it's
much.
too.
All right. Could there,
Not many bands can afford to come over there. At least
right.
you have to have a couple of good shows, and yeah,
All right. Well, maybe we'll,
situation is not that easy. Since you can't sell that many records anymore.
right. Well, maybe, all right. Well, I'm gonna be hopeful that Herman Frank, in some incarnation of one of his projects, comes here to the US. I did want to also talk about the prior Victory album, Gods of
Yeah,
Tomorrow. Excellent album. That's
thanks
one
so much.
that grows on me more and more as I hear it.
Yep.
Uh, what are your do you still love it as much as when it came out? Do you love it more?
It's not easy to answer, you know. I
Oh,
still
okay.
listen back to these albums.
Yeah.
Uh, there's one reason because I have to play the songs live. You
Yeah.
know, I have to remember them once in a while, and we change in maybe nearly every show the songs from the live set. So we pick up from this record, from this record, from this record. That's the reason why I do have to listen back once in a while, and it's it's a kind of like cool album.
Yeah.
There are good songs on it, good very nice guitars. Johnny, I mean, he showed up on this album and he nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great. I interviewed him when his that vintage crew album came out.
Yeah, yeah.
That was really good too. Did you get a chance to listen to that?
I do have a copy
Yeah.
for sure.
Are you supportive of him doing something totally different and then coming back to you?
I mean, these days everybody wants to do not, I don't want to call it side project, but another band on the side. You know,
You kind of
his
have to,
main thing
right?
is Victory. I'm quite sure, but he's fell in love with blues.
Yeah.
So that's and if he's doing music in a blues style, it helps for Victory for sure.
Yeah, sure.
And I do like it. I do support it, sure.
Yeah, yeah, no, he's a really cool dude. He's got a great voice. He can do a few
I wish
different
him all the best for
Yeah,
the thing. I mean, the blues thing is not that popular over here in Europe as you think so.
right.
But he's doing a couple of shows, and I guess he's doing okay.
Yeah. Let's also talk another guy who has been with you now for a few years on multiple projects is Malta, your bassist, right? And
Yeah,
you got him from David Reese, right?
he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's just a beast on live. He's a charming boy, and he's got so good moves, and hey, he's a gentle guy at the
Oh
live
yeah.
shows. You know, people love
He's
him,
he's the wild
especially
man.
especially the girls.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he's got the long hair and the tattoos. He seems like
Actually, he's
a
the only one who's single.
Oh, well then there you go. We keep
Wow.
playing, maybe not for long. Who knows?
Keep fingers crossed, huh?
Yeah. um, also wanted to talk to you about, like we said, one of your more recent
Yeah,
records
I
was
do see Iron Allies,
Iron
one of my
Allies.
favorites.
I absolutely loved it. I was so excited when it came out, as you know. And you've done some shows with Iron Allies
Yep.
or as one of Iron Allies. How are
Yeah.
those? What were those shows like? Were they extremely exciting? I saw the set list; they were incredible.
I love to do the shows. I mean,
Yeah.
David is one of the best singers I've ever met. He got this kind of like feeling in his blood, you know, it's in his veins. When he
Yeah.
opens his mouth, you believe what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable, this guy. That's why, and I heard music from David for years and years, you know. Always Facebook showed me his new singles with this stuff, and so I said, one a day, sooner or later, I'm gonna do a record with. I want to record a record with this guy, and so we did. It turned out very well, and I loved these songs, and to especially when you play these songs on the live shows.
Yeah,
it's great. Just makes fun. I don't have the right words for it. But it's very exciting.
That's excellent. Do you think there might be
and
a follow-up?
I hope there are more shows coming.
Yeah,
it's in Europe. You know, every band is going out live.
Right.
AAA bands, AA bands. Everybody is fighting for any slot in any festival or any club. It's kind of like difficult these days.
Yeah.
But hey, we're looking forward. Maybe we'll get some nice festivals next year.
That'd be great. Do you think there might be a follow-up to Blood In, Blood Out?
I'm already thinking now. I'm always thinking about it.
You've always got something going on, right? You've always got ideas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I just want to...
on the other side, I wrote 10,000 songs in the last 20 years. You know?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's a matter of energy.
Yeah.
And you can't force this little god up there to send you an idea for a good riff. It rather comes or it won't show up any. So I don't put myself under pressure. If I come up with some ideas, I would love to.
All right. And I just want to show everybody out there that Herman's a big supporter of blood donations. And every time I go and I donate blood, I bring my Iron Allies album cover and I take a picture with it and I send it to the Iron Allies Facebook fan page. And it's a good thing, right? This inspires me to donate. And there you go. Hopefully it inspires some other folks out there as well.
Hope so, yeah. I'm doing the same thing. Once in a while, I give my blood away.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Hopefully, I guess the people shape, compose, and the like if they get it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I figure all the blood I've given away is almost... There's so much caffeine in my blood that whoever's getting it is going, oh my God, I got to listen to heavy metal now.
That wakes you up.
Yeah. That's why it's so dark when it comes out.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. And so another thing I noticed also, Herman, is, let's not that I noticed it. After you left Accept in 2014, there was like a steady stream of Herman Frank solo albums coming out.
Yeah.
Is that just because you had, like you were saying, the time and the energy to write your own songs and get them out?
You're absolutely right. And during the years, I collected a couple of ideas, you know, maybe one or two. I guess more 10 or 20 or something like that. Hey, that was one reason to quit with Accept in these days. Because I wanted to do my own thing on this one thing, on the one side. Once in a while, I'm thinking back. Thankfully, it was a great time. It was just a part of my life, very good part of my life. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the touring. But on the other hand, I'm born as a musician and I'm born as a composer. And I started composing in the age of 14 or 16. So I just want to put out something.
Yeah,
and that was the reason why.
Yeah,
and I do love to compose songs.
Right,
and then it just follows that you love to record them. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, why not? If I'm able to, I want to do it.
And what's your mascot, guys? Does this guy have a mascot name? What's his name?
Kind of. My daughter came up with the idea. She says metal needs a skull.
Right. He's kind of mummified a little bit. And here you are arguing with him a little bit right there on Two for a Lie.
Two sides. The good and the bad. The bad and the good.
Right. And then The Devil Rides Out. The only one I don't have is Fight the Fear. I'm going to get to that one. eventually. I love
Ah, yeah,
collecting
with
these.
the motorcycle guy
Yeah,
on
yeah,
top.
yeah.
Yeah,
But oh yeah, so as with Herman Frank, or as Herman Frank, the solo albums, Rick Altsey is your singer.
yep.
And so you're just surrounded by talented vocalists. You must love it.
Otherwise, I wouldn't do a band.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't record something.
Yeah.
You have to have the talent to find these guys. um, for example, Johnny, I found on a festival. I played with Frank on a festival, and then I saw this guy with his band supporting whatever. He was in a band that played before Herman Frank, and I saw this guy singing, and I closed my eyes and said, "Wow, that could match very good in Victory." So you have to have the talent to, if you hear a good singer, talk to this guy, find him. First of all, find him, and then talk to the guy. And then it happens that they join your band. And the most important thing in a band is a good singer. You can write 10,000 songs. If there's no vocals on it, well, there's no need for it.
Right. Yeah. So you're
And nobody
inspired by
wants
your
nobody wants to listen guitars instrumental anymore.
right.
Or not for 40 minutes or 50 minutes. No, not even I would love to do this.
Oh, really? Do you feel that
Except Joe Satriani.
Oh, okay. He's well, yeah, that I understand. So you're clearly inspired by your singers to write, and I think that's really cool because it's do you come up with a riff and then hand it to them and say, here's what I want the song to be, put some really cool lyrics to it. Do you ever give them direction on the lyrics?
A couple of the lyrics, a little bit, but mostly a lot of the melodies I want to hear on these songs.
Yeah.
For example, I come up with a lot of hooks for the choruses or for the verses, because when I write a song, I'm try to have a vocal idea in my mind, and I put it on the demo tracks with my kind of like voice.
Right.
They're staring at me and say, "That's not true." Huh? But at least this kind of voice gives them kind of like an idea of what I want to hear. You know, for sure there are better singers and they can sort it out and record it properly, but to give the energy and the rhythm and the attitude of the song, I put some vocals on it.
Yeah, and then they just go in and they
Yeah.
add their
And
stamp
on
to
some
it.
of the songs, I'm kind of like forced to
Right.
follow my idea in a better way.
Yeah.
But on the other side, if I don't have a nice idea and Johnny or Rick comes up with a much better thing, I just choose his. I don't have any problems with that. I mean,
Okay.
they're expert in vocals.
Right. Right. No, it's excellent. Another thing I wanted to ask you about, it just so happens to be, I believe, 10 years since Blind Rage was released. That was your final album with Accept. And it's a really cool album. I always dug the resurgence of Accept. I always thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
The last song on the album is your last song with Accept. It's called Final Journey. I always thought that was like that was right as a total that was a real standout. I believe they still play that live.
I even can't remember. Did we?
Oh yeah. Well, no, I mean I saw them a few years ago. I'm pretty sure that they played it. I could always check that out. But
or maybe
yeah.
I really can't remember all the songs we did live.
I know. Yeah.
There had been, as you said, there had been 10 years in between. I've done so many things in between.
Oh
wow.
Yeah. You've released probably close to about 10
Final
albums
Journey,
since
I
then.
do remember it right now. It's a cool song.
It is.
Yeah.
It's got that solo at the end where it goes yeah.
I do remember.
That must have been a really cool, like, of all the tracks. I know there's a lot of songs in the catalog, but that must have been a really, really cool one to record because there's a lot of cool
I do love
ideas.
the melody stuff, Accept was doing. You know the nice melodies.
Yeah.
I'm into melodies.
Yeah. Do you ever? I remember the first time we spoke, you had a lot of nice things to say about Mark Tornillo. You still keep in touch with him at all?
Once in a while, we write him back forward and backward. You know, he is quite busy. I
Oh
guess
yeah.
they are touring like hell.
Yeah, yeah.
And once in a while, for sure, I wish him always best on a birthday.
Yeah.
I think for the 55th birthday next year for Mark Tornillo, I wish him the most best I can
Yeah.
do.
The 55th. He might be a
Maybe
little bit.
it's a small world.
Yeah.
Maybe we meet another time on a festival. I met him on Sweden Rock for very shortly for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was leaving the hotel. They entered the hotel, so you have to. We just had 5 minutes, but hey, I do love this guy.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, no, he was great. And I remember I interviewed him a really long time ago, but he had good things to say about you. So I always thought that was a really cool pairing. And
Yeah,
it was an exciting few albums that you did with them in the the 2010s. And they were fast. They had to come out one after the other. I know that. But it's a special thing for metal, I think, that you all were able to come back and do something like that. It was great. And yeah, I wanted to ask you also, how do you there is a tone in your guitar where when I hear it, I know it's you. What's the special secret for Herman Frank when he's toning or tuning his guitar? What are you doing?
the big heart, big balls.
Big balls.
It's kind of like I the point when I've started playing guitar and practicing, I never wanted to copy somebody.
Right.
I heard the licks of Richie Blackmore, of Von Hare, and you check out, okay, they're doing it maybe like this, but you never could reach this guy. So whenever I came up with a new lick or something, I wanted to do it a little different. And that's grew up in the decades that you kind of like have your own style. And as I said, I do love the melody.
Yeah.
And I try to express something. It's not about noodling on guitar. Nobody wants to hear noodling maybe for 10 seconds. Then people get tired.
Right.
And they can't follow. 90% of the people in the audience, they can't follow you anyway, what you're doing there. And so I try to tell a little story when you play a lead, or at least come up with a melody people can remember, as you remember in a journey this nice melody, something like that. And then the most important thing is the left hand and the right hand.
You've got the audience in mind when you're composing. That's what it sounds like. You're thinking about what's going to capture their attention.
And I got the chance years ago. We supported with Victor Gary Moore, and I asked him the same question. He gave me the same answer I gave you. It's the most important is you have to have it in your soul.
Yeah,
you have to love music, and you have to do it with passion. And then he showed me his left hand, and you need this left hand.
Excellent. All right. Well, we've got a little bit of a glimpse into the mind of Herman Frank. The new album is called Circle of Life. And in case you can't see it behind me over there, it's over there as well. It's out now from AFM Records. The last album was really great too. It was from Victory, called Gods of Tomorrow, also on AFM Records. What do you want to tell the fans of Victory and Herman Frank in general? What would you like them to know?
Are really trying hard, and we push ourselves to the limit to come up with some good music. And maybe, I hope so, because the other guys, they are begging and pleasing. Herman, we have to go for the US. I said, well, sooner or later. I'm fighting for it, and I would love to come back to the US.
When was the last time you were here?
Guess with Accept.
Oh, okay.
That's maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, about 14, 15.
10, 11 years, something like that.
All right. Well,
but I would love to see the countryside and all the people, and it's a different vibe just over there. It's just a different, for European people, it's just great to go to visit the US.
Yeah. Well, I hope to see you live in person, get a chance to meet you, shake your hand.
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah. You'll sign some Herman Frank swag for me if I meet you?
I would do everything.
Okay. Well, listen, I love it when you put out albums, no matter if they're Herman Frank, Victory, Iron Allies, whatever you got, just keep doing it. And I'm always going to support you here as best I can. And I just want to
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And I just appreciate your time, and please keep going.
See you next year.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much. Bye-bye.
Special thanks again to Herman Frank for joining me here today. He's always a lot of fun. Victory's new album is Circle of Life, and it is available everywhere on AFM Records. At the top, you heard a clip of one of the new tracks from Circle of Life, and it is called Count on Me. And I am now playing a clip of the title track off of the prior album, Gods of Tomorrow, because I just loved it so flippin' much. That album is also available on AFM Records. You can learn more about Victory at victory-band.com, and Victory will be kicking off 2025 as the very special guest for Gravedigger on their 45th anniversary tour. Now, those dates start January 16th, and that first leg of the tour will run through January 26th. The second leg will be January 30th through February 8th. There's going to be some heavy riffing there. You got to check it out. And as always, remember to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hardworking artists like Victory and Herman Frank. Folks, head on over to the revamped JaceMediaMusic.com page. We've got reviews, we've got interviews, we've got all kinds of great music coverage. Check out some of my recent video interviews with my favorite all-time singer, John Bush of Armored Saint and Category 7, and his bandmates in Category 7, drummer Jason Bittner. There are also interviews with Michael Gilbert of Flotsam and Jetsam, another heavy metal guitar heavyweight, Jesper Binza of DAD, Alessandro Del Vecchio, Robert Meid of Captain Blackbeard, Metalite, and Nighthawk, Yuge Valvorita of Syra, Nick DeSalvo of Elder and Delving, and members of Seven Kingdoms, Kickin' Valentina, Orden Ogan, and many more. Special thanks, as always, to our fantastic founder and publisher, Glenn, and all of my Jace Media colleagues. And of course, special thanks to you, the worldwide Jace Media music audience. Look for Jace Media on Facebook and X and Instagram and basically every social media channel you can think of. I am Justin Smolison, proud Jace Media contributor from across the pond. Thank you again for tuning in. Keep coming back to JaceMediaMusic.com. I've got more video interviews on the way.